Hey up, it's Stephen, Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to the next episode of my series in Magical Monochrome. This is a special episode because it's in colour, so it's the opposite of Magical Monochrome. It's Magical Multichrome, or whatever. Anyway, we're watching this one in colour. I could have watched it in black and white because the original version of this film is in black and white, but in 2005 it was colourised. Watching House on Haunted Hill. If you follow my Appointment with Fear playlist, where I watch a horror film each Friday night, recently we did the remake of this film, House on Haunted Hill, from 1999, and its sequel from 2007. But I thought for this Patreon exclusive show, we'd watch the original, starring Vincent Price, Carol Omart, Richard Long, Alan Marshall, Carolyn Craig, Elisha Cook Jr., Julie Mitchum, Leona Anderson, and Howard Hoffman. Directed by William Castle, the great William Castle, and written by Rob White. Had a budget of only $200,000, but as usual with William Castle, he made a bucket load of money on it. The box office of $2.5 million. As I said, it's from 1959, originally released in black and white, but were colourised in 2005 by Legend Films. So there we go. So that's what we're going to be watching now. And that's about it, really. All else I've got to say, I'll say during the film. Not that I know a huge amount of this film, but anyway. Right, so off we go. Let me move this over here so I can see the film. Right, are you ready? Are you ready? So off we go. Here we are, House on Haunted Hill from 1959. Allied Artists Picture Corporation. Getting ready. We're going to be scared. That's a proper scream, isn't it? It's like a bloody referee's whistle. We hear that several times in this film. By the way, there's several versions. Hang on, let's let Elisha Cook Jr. speak.
The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry. May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. Since then, I've owned the house. I've only spent one night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
I'm Frederick Lauren.
I'm Frederick Lauren.
And I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party.
Please don't shout. It's exquisite, Haggerty.
She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000. Or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests. It was my wife's idea to have our guests come in funeral cars. She's so amusing.
Much like the
Her sense of
remake.
humor is, shall we say,
I don't think
original.
in this one they're headed for the Griffith Observatory.
It's empty now, but after a night in the house on Haunted Hill, who knows? This is Lance Schroeder, a test pilot, so no doubt a brave man.
Cigarettes,
Don't you think
healthy,
you can be much braver
good for
if
you.
you're paid for it? And I happen to know that Lance needs the $10,000 I'll give him, if he's brave enough to stay all night. This is Ruth Bridges. You've no doubt read her column in the newspapers. She says her reason for coming to the party is to write a feature article on ghosts.
When $10,000 were a lot of money.
gambles. You've already met Watson Pritchard, a man living in mortal fear of a house, and yet he is risking his life to spend another night here. I wonder why. He says for money.
Spoilers.
This is Dr. David Trent, a psychiatrist.
Pritchett is
He
the only
claims that
one in
my
this film
ghost will
that
help
actually
his work
believes
on
in ghosts.
hysteria. But don't you see a little touch of greed there? Around the mouth and eyes? This is Nora Manning. I picked her from the thousands of people who work for me because she needed the 10,000
Because she
more than
screams
most.
like a referee's whistle.
Supports her whole family. Isn't she pretty?
Isn't she pretty?
The party's starting now, and you have until midnight to find the house.
Right, there's the
on Haunted
house.
Hill.
It's the Ennis house, which is in... I can't remember. Forgotten. Hang on, let me check. The Los Feliz neighbourhood of Los Angeles. Built in 1924. It's been used in other films. I think this is the most famous version. It's built of concrete blocks, cast concrete blocks, with the designs, as you go, you can see, after like Mayan architecture. But the inside of what we're going to see in this film of the house is completely different. And we even get a different house on the poster. So there are various houses on Haunted Hill. Haunted Hill. Haunted Hill. So there we go. And it was sold in 2019, I do believe, for $18 million. So there we go. Right. Elisha Cook, you may know if you're into horror, from Salem's Lot. We're in Salem's Lot, won't it? There's been loads of stuff. You can see all the bars on the windows so they can't escape. They don't have shutters that couldn't. They just lock them in this one. And I've just found out it's in the public domain, is this film, so I might risk put it up on YouTube as well. We'll see. We will see. I might just see what happens, and if it gets a copyright claim, I'll just take it off. Los Angeles. So it's up in the hills, isn't it? Well, on the Haunted Hill, isn't it? Not to be confused for, the Haunting of Hill House, which I think it's sometimes confused for. Right. By the way, for 1959, I know it's William Castle and he does like using blood. We don't see any, well, we're doing this because it's colourised, but we don't see any red blood in this. It's famously in, I think The Tingler, a black and white film, he had a bath full of red blood. But it's quite gruesome in some ways. We see severed heads and stuff like that in this film. Anyway, so here we go. We're entering the house on Haunted Hill. Why is it all cobwebby? Because nobody lives there. Pritchett, look after your house.
Well, where is everybody?
You're
Isn't
here.
a very warm welcome, is it?
And at least
Only
in
the
this
ghosts
one,
in this house
there are
are glad
5
we're here.
people that he's expecting. So
Are we
5
all
checks.
strangers to each other?
In the remake, he had 5 checks and
Don't
only
you
3
two know
people that
each
were
other?
supposed to be there.
I'm afraid I don't even know your name.
I'm Nora Manning.
Lance Schroeder.
Is Frederick Lauren a friend of yours?
I've heard of him, but I've never met him.
I work for one of his companies, but I've never seen him.
I've never met the man either. Just a phone call. Do you know him?
No,
Well, then you're the only one of us who does.
I don't know him. All the details about renting the house were done by mail.
He's quite wealthy, isn't he?
Millions.
And 5 wives, I believe.
4, I think, so far.
A $50,000 party for only 5 people is a little steep, even for a millionaire.
When
Well,
$50,000 was a lot of
it'd certainly
money.
be the house I'd do it in.
Who closed the door?
The ghosts. It's like spoilers. We don't actually
This
see
thing's
any
made of
ghosts in this
steel.
film. cats.
Annabelle,
The blooming
our
cats.
guests are here, unfortunately still alive. Is your face on yet?
Ooh la la.
And dirt everywhere, and the water barely trickles.
Couldn't you have had the place cleaned?
Atmosphere, darling. You know how ghosts are. They never tidy up. And that's a very fetching outfit, but hardly suitable for a party.
I'm not going to the party.
This spend-the-night ghost party was your idea, remember? Since it's going to cost me $50,000, I want you to have fun.
The party was my idea until you invited all the guests. Why all these strangers? Why none of our friends?
Friends? Do we have any friends?
No, your jealousy took care of that.
I had a reason for inviting each guest. I wanted kind of a cross-section. From psychiatrist to typist, and from drunk to jet pilot. They share one thing. They all need money. Now let's see if they're brave enough to earn it.
And you call this a party?
Could be.
Jimi Hendrix, a statue of Jimi
Why do
Hendrix.
you
there.
always do that? It spoils the champagne.
It might explode.
Never does.
Would you guarantee that?
That isn't funny, Frederick.
Make a good headline. Playboy kills wife with champagne cork. Will you join me?
No, thank you.
Just a sip might improve your humor.
My humor is fine, thanks. And I haven't poisoned it.
It's always good to know that. Have some. You'll enjoy the party more.
I wonder if that is
Go on.
actually champagne or just water.
Your trust is so touching. And I'm not going to the party,
Of all my wives, you're the least agreeable.
but still alive.
Would you go away for $1 million tax-free? You want it all, don't you?
I deserve it all. Your jealousy isn't tax-free, and your possessiveness is maddening.
Gold
Never
digger.
a man had
Boo.
grounds for divorce.
But can't prove them.
The time will come. You'll slip up one of these days,
Think so?
if I live long enough. You remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
Something you ate, the doctor said.
Yes, arsenic on the rocks. Annabelle, you'd do it again if you thought you could get away with it, wouldn't you?
Darling, what makes you think that?
Something about you. I hear that hanging is very uncomfortable, in case you get any more ideas. Now, don't let the ghosts
Think
and the
about,
ghouls
remember
disturb you,
that.
darling.
Darling, the only ghoul in the house is you.
And don't sit up all night thinking of ways to get rid of me. It makes wrinkles.
This is what she used on my brother and her sister.
He's got it well
Pick up
rehearsed,
pieces.
hasn't he?
We found parts of the bodies all over the house, in places you wouldn't think. The funny thing is, the heads have never been found. Hands and feet and things like that. But no heads.
The wife, probably in a rage, threatened her husband with a knife and then, carried away by hysteria, took a swing at him and simply went on from there.
She certainly went on. How many people did she kill, Mr. Pritchard?
Only two. Her husband and her sister. No one else was here.
So there are two loose heads just floating around in here somewhere?
You can hear them at night. They whisper to each other and then cry.
Since our host isn't here, would anyone care to mix me a drink?
Certainly. What will you have?
Good evening. I'm your host, Frederick Lauren. Since we're all strangers to each other, let's get acquainted with the drink, shall we?
Mr. Lauren, I advise you to call this party off now. The ghosts are already moving, and that's a bad sign.
Let me apologize
It's
for my wife.
only him
She'll
that
join
talks
us
about
later.
ghosts.
What is
Nobody
that?
else
Doctor.
even mentions
Doctor?
them. Well, they do.
I'll have the same.
Now, before the party begins, let's go over the details. The caretakers will leave at midnight, locking us in here until they come back in the morning. Once the door is locked, there's no way out. The windows have bars that a jail would be proud of, and the only door to the outside locks like a vault. There's no electricity, no phone, no one within miles, so no way to call for help.
Like your coffin.
So if any of you decide not to stay for the party, you must let me know before midnight. Of course, if you leave, I shan't be able to pay you anything.
I'm interested in your reasons for this, party. Aside from the pleasant company.
Ghosts, Doctor. I think everyone wonders what they would do if they saw a ghost. And now my wife has given us all the opportunity to find out.
Amusing. Ghosts, etc., being only creations of hysteria, your party should be a success.
Well, Pritchard here promises us genuine ghosts.
7 now. Maybe more before morning.
That's cheerful.
4 men have been murdered in this house. And 3 women.
You planned your party very well, Mr. Loren. 4 of us are men, 3 are women. Well, a ghost for everybody.
Well, Pritchard, why don't you take us on a tour through the house and let's see what happens, huh?
William Castle's super famous for his promotional gimmicks during his films.
See that stain?
In a minute.
Blood. A young girl was killed here. And whatever got her wasn't human. Don't stand there.
What do you mean? Where?
It's ink or something. Like blood.
It's too late. They've marked you.
Ridiculous. The roof probably leaks.
Oh, that must be what it is. Who would want to haunt me?
I would say any self-respecting male ghost.
That hysteria hound in his
Mr. Pritchard, you're the life of the party.
He hasn't even started yet. Wasn't there a man who threw his wife into a wine vat or something?
That was in the cellar. There's been a murder almost every place in this house.
I think it's Pritchard in this. In the remake, it's Pritchard. I don't know why they changed it. Anyway, promotional gimmicks. It's famous for him as William Castle, like, you know, vibrating seats, electric shocks, stuff like that, mild ones. In this one, it was Emergo, which was a skeleton that would fly
Who
about
didn't die here? He was
over the
electrocuted.
audience.
Mr. Norton did a good deal of experimenting with wines. But his wife didn't think it was any good. So he filled the vat with acid and threw her in. She was supposed to stay down. But the bones came up.
I wouldn't be surprised if this
It's a
film
funny
was
thing.
a direct inspiration for Scooby-Doo.
But none of the murders here were just ordinary.
I'm going to look it up, see what his legacy
Just
is.
shooting or stabbing. They've all
Nothing
been
safe.
sort of wild, violent, and different. Look out! God, she didn't fall in.
You mean there's still acid in there?
Thankfully, a dead rat there. Speaking of rats, there's a dead rat in my back garden. Something will take it away. A cattle have left it there.
Destroys everything with hair and flesh. Just leaves the bones.
Also gets rid of the clothes as well. If the rat had been wearing clothes.
My, it's dry and dusty down here.
Well, there's a cure for that upstairs. Come on.
Now this is creepy. I'll just lock myself in.
How'd you get invited to this party? No. Oh, go on. I mean, what did he tell you?
Mr. Lawrence said everybody'd get $10,000.
But he didn't say anything about being locked in.
No.
He just made a deal with me on the phone, but nothing about having to stay.
Aren't you going to stay?
If I don't, I lose $10,000.
I'm going to stay, too. $10,000.
Yeah. You believe in ghosts?
I don't know.
Well, I agree with what that doc says. You can spook yourself. I've done it in planes. Seen things that weren't really there.
Notice
Or
as you can see over there,
What are you going to do with your 10,000?
they took casts of the
If we
actual
get
from
it.
the actual outside of the house.
What do you
and
mean if we get it?
included it on
Won't
some
he pay us if we
interior
stay?
sets.
Ah, sure he
To
will.
give the continuity.
10,000 is no more to him than a nickel is to us.
We were in an automobile accident. Now I'm the only one in the family who can make any money.
There's some more
Boy,
there.
I've never seen so many doors. Closet.
Wine press.
Bottles.
And one green bottle standing on the wall. Or a vat. Barrel.
Does it go anywhere?
Yikes. Not the wobbly walls. The lights have gone out. Here comes Mrs. Slides. Probably called her that because she slides along the floor. Leona Anderson. We'll get a better look at her shortly. And I've got to admit, it scared the pants off me when I was a kid.
Please. Lance is gone, and there's a ghost.
See what I mean?
A ghost.
Did you say Lance is gone? Gone where?
Like, let's check out the creepy basement, Scoob.
We'll have to break it down. It's locked.
Honest, it was. That illuminates, that candle is like 100 candle power.
You all right?
Nothing that money won't cure. I must have bumped my head.
And the only way you could bump your head in here is to run head on into the wall. You didn't do that, did you? Let's get a bandage on that.
Bit of a plot hole here. We'll get to it later. I do believe.
I wonder why they didn't kill him.
Who?
He didn't bump his head. They hit him.
They?
Nora, when you came in, you said something about a ghost.
There was something.
What did it
Street
look like?
it from the fondue
Well,
set.
it was wearing a black
I know
thing
it's
that went all the
obvious.
way to the floor.
Weren't you a little frightened at the time?
Well, yes.
That, Mr. Loram, is hysteria.
Well, then, Doctor, how do you explain what happened to Lance? Was that hysteria, too?
You better get that checked in a day or so.
Thanks, Doc.
Wait for me in the hall.
The ghosts are coming closer, Mr. Loren.
You really believe in your pet ghost, don't you, Pritchard?
Before the night's over, you will, too.
Would you like a drink, Lance?
No, thanks.
I'd like one. Scotch and.
Scotch and what? Scotch and an egg sandwich.
Mr. Loren, are you really going to pay anyone who stays all night?
Certainly. $10,000.
Will there be much red tape or delay?
You in a hurry, dear?
Frankly, yes. Or frantically.
There you are, my dear.
So the house is in complete disrepair, or just but somebody keeps winding the clocks. And we find out they're actually caretakers, Mrs. Slide's and husband, Jonas. But obviously they can't be bothered going on with the feather
Someone or
duster.
something was in here when I came in. But where? And if the door was locked, how did it get out? What you saw might have been a ghost, Nora, but what was in here with me was no ghost.
I don't know. I was so scared.
I ain't afraid no ghost.
Does it sound different to you?
Yes.
It sounds almost as though it's been put through a soundboard.
Three, 6, 9, 12.
Goose drank wine.
12 feet. Three, 6. Now, I'm going to knock on the other wall. When you hear me, you knock on this wall. Tap lower down.
Yeah, ready. Here it comes. The wind up. That genuinely scared me to death when I was younger.
Oh, I saw it again.
And maybe not just when I was younger.
Where'd it come from?
From in here.
What if it ran out of here? I'd have seen it.
Lance, it doesn't run. It just floats.
Yeah, but why didn't I see it?
You don't believe me.
Because you weren't in the room, you dickhead. Sorry, got me angry. That's it. You storm off in a huff, love. Old Lance is not getting laid tonight, is he?
I'm Annabelle Loren. You must be Miss Manning. I realize this is a very unusual and I'm afraid very dull party. Wouldn't you like to freshen up? This is your room. Depressing, isn't it?
Now spin me some gold, Rapunzel.
It's going to rain. Perfect atmosphere for my husband's party. Why did you come here?
He said he'd give me $10,000.
Why did he pick you?
I don't know. My supervisor just came and said I'd been invited.
How long have you known my husband?
I just met him tonight.
So? Why you? What were you doing wandering around by yourself?
Well, I was in the cellar with Lance, Mr. Schroeder, and I just left, that's all.
Don't do it again. Don't go anywhere in this house by yourself. Now fix your face and I'll come by for you in a few minutes.
But
You're in danger. We all are.
But who?
I hope for your sake you never find out.
Very husky, seductive voice. In her royal purple. Well, hello, I'll try my
I'm Annabelle Lauren. Were you looking for
skit
something?
on you.
Not exactly.
Are you the doctor?
No, I'm Lance Schroeder.
The pilot. You've hurt yourself.
Oh, it's just a bump on the head. Which is my room?
I believe this is it.
Thank you, Mrs. Lauren.
Annabelle Lance.
No, it's Annabelle Lauren. Annabelle Lance. Lance
You were
thinks he's
with the
getting
young
lucky
girl in the
now.
cellar. Why was she so upset?
Was she?
And you don't look like the type to go around bumping his head. What really happened, Lance?
Well, Nora thought she saw a ghost, but I didn't see anything.
She was just frightened then.
And mad at me, I think. I kidded her about it.
I wouldn't joke about anything else that happens here tonight.
Now, don't tell me you're taking all this seriously.
Aren't you?
Well, I'd like to find out what hit me.
Lance. If I need help, may I count on you?
Yeah, sure, I
Oh,
guess so.
yeah.
Look, what's going on here anyway? I mean, what is with this party bit?
This is no party. He's planning something.
Your husband?
I wish I knew what it was.
Must be pretty big if he's going to lay out 50,000.
The money doesn't mean anything. He has a reason for getting us all up here to this dreadful old house.
Well, what for? He doesn't even know us.
Maybe that's exactly why you're here.
Well, what can he get away with?
Oh, he thinks that big money like his can get away with anything. You know, of course, that I'm his fourth wife. The first simply disappeared. The other two died. Lance, I don't want to join them.
You mean he,
Oh, his doctor said they died of heart attacks. Two girls
And the missing one.
in their 20s.
Well, what can he do?
My husband is sometimes insane with jealousy. Nothing matters to him then. Please be careful.
Would he hurt you?
He would kill me if he could.
Annabelle, you're missing all the fun. Nora Manning was almost killed by a falling chandelier. The pilot bashed his head in.
Is he badly hurt?
The Saturnine psychiatrist bandaged him up. Don't you want to go and console him, as you do most men, in your fashion?
Saturnine
You're so
psychiatrist.
clever, Frederick.
As I lie awake nights wondering why I married you. It was rather a mistake.
You didn't marry me, dear. I married you. Unpleasant, but no mistake.
Well, hurry up.
Frederick, for the last time, I'm not going to your party.
And for the last time, it's not my party, but yours. And you are going.
I am not.
You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
Would you adore me as much if I were poor? No. All you want to be is a lovely widow. It's almost time to lock up the house. And then your party will really begin. I wonder how it'll end.
The legend, innit? Vincent Price. Amazing.
It's close to midnight, Lance. Okay.
Yes, I was just putting on my sleep suit with tie.
Who is it?
Your host, my dear. It's almost midnight, Nora. We're all going to get together down in the living room.
All right, Mr. Lloyd. I'll be right down.
A severed head of somebody. Reasonably gruesome, I imagine, for 1959. Although it does look like Danny Trejo, but never mind. Curtain that opens itself, as you see.
Come with us before he kills you.
It's a zombified Michael Goff. But it's not. All that in the film happened in about less than 5 minutes, didn't it? Talk about compression.
I don't want to stay here.
Nora, what happened? That's Jonas Slides and his wife. They've been caretakers here for years. She's blind.
Not very good ones.
I'm not going to stay here.
Well, Doctor, it looks like we have a real case of hysteria on our hands.
I think she's just a little upset, not hysterical.
It's the 50s. We can slap her until she becomes cognizant again.
Hello, my dear. This is my wife. These are our guests. Ruth Bridges, Dr. Trent. You know Watson Pritchard, of course. Nora Manning, and this is Lance Schroeder.
Get me out of here.
Now, what about the 10,000?
I don't care. He wants to kill me.
Who wants to kill you?
Mr. Lawrence.
May I have your attention, please?
The time's
I
flying
think you
now.
all remember the bargain we made about staying all night. $10,000 apiece. If any of you don't survive, $50,000 will be divided amongst the rest of you. If I should die, you will be paid by my estate. When the door is locked from the outside by the caretakers, we'll all be forced to stay in this house until morning. If any of you decide not to stay, you must leave with the caretakers now. You won't have a chance to change your minds later, because there'll be no way to get out.
I don't want to stay.
Wait.
It isn't midnight yet. Who told them they could leave?
They never leave before midnight.
Well, they've gone now. I was going to ask you whether you wanted to stay or not, but it seems that the caretakers have made the decision for you. We're all locked in now.
But I don't want to stay.
Tough.
Sorry, my dear, but it's too late now.
Darling, haven't you had enough of the silly game? Get some cars up here for these people and let them go home. But pay them first.
This is your party, remember? In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the impossible, we will all have to stay in this house until 8 o'clock in the morning. But we have some party favors for you in these little coffins. This is my wife's idea. And I must say, I think it's rather dangerous. I suppose you all know how to use one of these things, but in case you don't, you just press down on this lever with your thumb and then pull the trigger.
Will you stop shooting me heirlooms?
See, they're
says
loaded.
Pritchard.
These are no good against the dead, only the living.
Doctor?
Pritchard and his haunted house delusions.
Go ahead, take it. Miss Bridges. And here's yours, dear.
I don't need it.
It was your idea. Who knows, you may want to use it on me before this night is over.
Throw these guns away. They won't do you any good.
I agree with Pritchard on that point, although not for the same reason.
Dr. Trent, don't you approve of our little party favors?
Suppose Nora had had a gun when she mistook the blind woman for a ghost.
I don't think anyone else is going to walk around in total darkness.
Oh, I'm sure we're not going to go running around the house shooting each other, aren't you?
Who knows? Fear makes people do amazing things.
Mr. Pritchard, you said your sister-in-law killed a man and a woman here and cut them up? You said they found hands and feet, but they never found any heads. Would you like to see one of those heads? Would you all like to see one of those heads? Well then, just follow me.
Darling, I really don't need this.
Just go look in my suitcase. Just go look.
Sexy lingerie. It was a
What's in
head.
there? A woman's head.
Nora, I think you're a little
A
upset.
woman?
Would you care for a sedative?
Get out! Get out, all of you! All of you, get out of here and leave me alone! Just get out of here!
We've all felt like.
Do you think it's all right to leave her by herself, Doctor?
I wish she'd taken the sedative.
Well, what do you suppose she thought she saw?
They're closing in on her.
Look, Doc, I think somebody ought to stay with her.
There could be 1,000,000 people around her. And if they wanted her, they'd get her.
What if he's right?
These two don't know what he's talking about.
I wonder. I'll join you in a minute.
He's going to throw up in the corner now, he's Pritchard. What was that?
You think it would do any good if you
Did
went
we
in
just
and
see a hand?
talked to her?
Popped
Do you
through
think there
frame
really
there.
was a head in her suitcase?
I don't know.
A thing like that would put me right over the edge.
Look, would you sort of stay up here, I mean, in case she needs help?
All right. I'll be in my room. Just call it.
Thanks.
It must have been Thing that we saw
Are you sure there are only
to
7 people in
move
this
through
house?
frame.
Positive.
It wasn't one of the crew,
Except the
don't worry
ghosts.
about it.
I don't believe in ghosts, nor in frightening women. In Nora's case, it's gone far enough. Perhaps too far.
What do you suggest we do about it, Doctor?
Don't frighten her anymore.
Keeps on these establishing shots from the outside, as though some passage of time, but
Nora?
we don't know, do we?
Nora?
This bullet.
Nora?
It's one of them shrunken heads from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, isn't it? On the night bus.
Nora!
It's never told us if it's a fake head or a real head. And I'm thinking, if it's a real head, does he know it's a real head?
What do you know about this?
They're taking her. In a little while, she'll be one of them.
I know a lot of these men
Where's Norton?
are probably in the war, so they're probably seeing horrors we cannot
It's
even
too late.
conceive.
It's too late. You'll never find her again.
Pritchard, if you know where she is, you better tell me now.
She's gone. She's gone with them. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, I wonder what's happened. I'll just leave this head on the table. I wonder if it had like one of them, a memo spike, whatever they call them. Stuck it on that. Oh no, somebody's hanged. Not hung, hanged.
Let her down.
Using the thickest rope imaginable. It's like bloody rope from gym class, isn't it? It's even the statue with the room there, look. Look.
Nora?
She's dead, Mr. Lauren. Your wife hanged herself.
Suicide.
Where's Nora buggered off to? I can't remember. Oh, there she is.
Please hide me. Please hide me.
What's the matter?
Hide me. He tried to kill me. He grabbed me and choked me and put me in that room. And then he went away and left me.
Who?
He thought I was dead.
Who?
Mr. Lord.
Are you sure about this?
I don't know. It was dark, but it must have been him.
Why?
Has anybody seen you since he left you?
I heard some people in that room, but I went by and nobody saw me.
Mrs. Lauren is dead.
But how?
Lauren said she committed suicide, but I think somebody killed her.
Him?
Need Mystery Inc. to sort out this conundrum. Velma and Fred and Daphne. And of course, Shaggy and Scrooge.
I'm sure you've come to the same conclusion I have.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's all have a meeting, discuss what to do. The living room?
Okay, in a minute.
Oh, it's Australia. The actor that plays Dr. Trent, Alan Marshall, I think he's a
I gotta go
British.
downstairs.
That's Australian.
Now, you lock yourself in here and don't let anybody know you're here. If he thinks you're dead, he won't come here. And I'll get back as soon as I can. You'll be all right. And if you have to, you use it.
You empty this into some mofo's head. Just rip the curtains down.
So beautiful. So greedy. So cold.
Throttle.
What are you doing in here?
Wait. Don't wait.
What do you mean coming in here?
I didn't want them to take her away.
You're drunk.
They will if you don't watch her.
You're drunk. All right, out with it, Bridget. Why did you come into this room?
I'm the only one who understands.
Understands what?
Your wife isn't there anymore. She's already joined them.
Bridget, I've had enough of your spook talk. Get out, you sot, and don't come back into this room again.
Don't throw him too hard into the door. He might knock the whole wall down. The sot. It's a word you don't hear much these days, isn't it? Apparently I'm a sot, I say to him.
Where's what's-her-name? Nora.
I didn't disturb her since I don't think this concerns her.
No, you're right.
Mr. Lauren, isn't there some way we can get out of this house now?
No, none at all.
We could try breaking out.
The only door to the outside is made of steel. The bars of the windows are set in solid stone. We gotta stay.
I'm not afraid of your ghosts, Pritchard. But I am afraid. When we came here a few hours ago, the only thing we had in common was the $10,000 we'd get. Now, however, we share something else. The death of Mrs. Lauren. So far tonight, one of us was almost killed by a falling chandelier. One of us was mysteriously slugged. One of us has been driven to the brink of absolute hysteria. And one of us is dead.
One of us is enjoying the cool
Were these accidents?
taste of
Suicide?
menthol.
And we must stay here for 6 more hours.
6 hours.
Let us call Gondor for help.
Time enough.
Who'll be next? How will it happen?
Let me ask you a question, Doctor. You were the first one to see my wife there. Did you also see anything that she could have climbed up on and then jumped?
No.
Did any of you? There was nothing. How then did she get up there so high?
Exactly, Mr. Lauren. How? She couldn't have pulled herself up there. She couldn't have dropped from the ceiling. Do you think your wife killed herself?
No. She was murdered
Murdered.
by one of you.
Or you, Mr. Lauren. To deliberately kill someone, you must have a reason.
We were all strangers to your wife. Only you had a motive for murder.
What husband hasn't at some time wanted to kill his wife? What husband hasn't had 1,000 opportunities to do it in such a way so that he'd never be suspected? I'm not such a fool as to hang my wife from a ceiling by a rope.
The fact remains that you, or one of us, murdered Mrs. Lauren. And that's a matter for the police.
So how do we get the police?
That's my point. We can't until morning. What began as a silly party given by an eccentric has now involved us all in murder.
For once, Pritchard may be right. If another murder's in the works, let's stop it now.
Another murder.
Why not? Maybe one of us saw too much.
Why should even a
I can't see
millionaire want to
anything.
give each of us $10,000 to spend one night in a
seen
gloomy
double.
old house? To see some ghosts, have a party? No.
Have you finished trying me, Doctor? And is the verdict guilty of murder?
Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere. Somebody killed Mrs. Lauren, we know that. One of us is guilty and the rest of us are innocent, okay. Now, what we have to do for the next 6 hours is protect ourselves from each other.
Do you really think?
I don't think anything. I just know that I'm going to my room. And if anybody comes in, I'll shoot him. Or her.
And if we all stay in our rooms, we'll be safe. Because the innocent will
Today,
have no
you'll be
reason to
shooting
leave his
them.
room. And the guilty will admit his guilt if he or she does.
And we all have guns.
And we're all agreed?
Oh, I wish this night were over.
Me too.
Brooms? Guns? I tell you, it doesn't make any difference.
We're all doomed.
They aren't through with us yet.
Doomed! Smoke Lucky Strikes. Available in the foyer.
What's the use of saying goodnight?
Good night.
We didn't say goodnight.
Good night, Doctor.
Whatever. I don't know where my room is. Not with his wife's room, because she was sat combing her hair and stuff, wasn't she, doing all that. He put him in the different room. Her dead body. I wonder why. Hey, Pritchard's waiting. Like James Bond in Doctor No. Lighting them candles did a lot, didn't it? Nobody there. It's probably the closest evidence that we get in this film to maybe the house is haunted. Oh God, everywhere I go. He's following me around the house. Oh, calm down, woman. Rusty Park, love. Rusty Park.
You okay? They've all gone to their rooms and locked themselves in.
Lance, I've been thinking. It was so dark down there. Maybe it wasn't Mr. Lorne.
Oh, now you
With
change
them,
your
all
tune.
He tried to kill you, and he did kill his wife.
How can you be so sure?
It was a
He
dark
tried
and
to warn
stormy
me.
night.
Asked me to help him. The doc thinks he's going to try and kill one of us. Now, there must be a way out of this place, and I'm going to find it and get the police before he does.
I'm going with you.
Well, if he finds out you're alive... No, Nora. You're safer here than any place else. Now, just lock yourself in and keep quiet. If I find a way out, I'll come back and get you.
It's a secret chamber. Oh, there's a basilisk in there. Nobody can hear him. Over the lightning storm sound effect. Did you see something else then? Just as a blink, thought I saw something moving across the room. Maybe the house is haunted. Maybe it's just me. A bit stop motion there. I think it is, isn't it? When we get to the reveal of everything and all that, I just want to know certain things, such as this. I mentioned the plot hole earlier, another one there. It looks like stop motion. It's stop motion jerkiness, isn't it? She's ready now to go pop a cap in somebody's ass. Referee's whistle again, it's half time. Where'd that come from? It's the thing from Horror Express. With that head that he left on the table. Still don't even know if it's a real one or is it a fake one, but I mean in the story, in the movie. Was it supposed to be a real head? I don't know. Din he's at Mother Brown. Oh, stop, it's ghastly. She's off again. She's off a sore throat. She needs some honey. Did they not hear her? This house got the most amazing internal soundproofing.
And admission of guilt, Doctor?
Certainly not.
Stick your hands up,
There's
you
either
bum.
somebody else in this house or one of us has left his room. Did you hear anything?
Couldn't hear anything for all that screaming.
Organ music?
That, and someone walking.
But not screaming.
You got yours? Ready?
You look downstairs, and I'll look up here.
Why not together?
There may be only minutes, seconds left of someone's life. Why waste time?
Let's just waste time talking about it. Waste a bit more time now. Seconds. Dun dun dun. Do you think he's up to no good? Is it me or was that statue slightly different? I'm sure last time it wasn't like that and now it's just like that. Maybe it's just the angle.
It's almost over, darling.
Plot
Every
twist.
detail was perfect.
What's happening?
We've done it. A perfect crime. Beautiful.
Has she killed him?
Not yet, but she will.
So we haven't done it yet then,
Get me out
have
of
we?
this hanging harness. What's taking that girl so long? What time is it?
At first, I couldn't get Nora to want to protect herself with a gun. But after you appeared at the window, everything began to work just as we had planned. You were wonderful. Just the touch that finally drove her into complete hysteria.
It'll be worth all of our planning, darling. Where's Nora now? What's
So have they got
happening?
keys to
On
get
her way
out?
to the cellar. So scared she'll shoot the first thing that moves.
And Frederick?
On his way to the cellar, too.
David, are you sure none of them will suspect us?
Of what? An hysterical girl accidentally shoots somebody? Who would suspect that we planned it that way, that we drove her to it?
What about my suicide?
But just a ghost party gag. We'll claim it was a dummy since I'm the only one who touched you.
And the caretakers?
Well, they had no idea what they were really doing.
What about Nora? She's not stupid, you know.
Darling, believe me, everything we've planned is working perfectly. Nora is sure Frederick murdered you. She thinks Frederick attacked her in the cellar, not me. And now Nora's almost out of her mind with fear. The heads, the music, you're hanging. I tell you, when Frederick walks in there, she'll shoot him.
It's taking too long. David, you ought to be there.
But who hit Lance? Obviously it wasn't him.
When you hear the shot, come down to the cellar.
I see you were with the others. Maybe it was her. I can't remember if it tells us. I've seen this film many times. Memory like a sieve. We've got enough wine presses. I know, but anyway, whatever. I want one of those flagons that's hanging up on the wall. Fill it with mead. Or ale, or whatever. Frothing. So who's making the lights go off? Is it all part of... I forgot his name. His wife's plan.
No. No!
You just shot him, do you expect? Right, off he goes into the... Remember the vat of acid from the beginning? There it is. Just put some sort of grating over the top of that. Stop people just falling in. And... Who turned the lights off? No. Don't know. The ghosts. Took her time, didn't you, after hearing that shot? You know, when Nora shot
David?
Vincent
David?
Price. I can't remember the character's name. WD-40 on those hinges. I know what's coming though. Oh dear. It just makes me giggle. You ready? It's a skeleton. Also note that is probably actually a real skeleton, an actual human skeleton. In Hollywood, real skeletons are cheaper to come by than fake ones.
Everything I have.
Or they used to be.
Even my life. But you're not going to live to enjoy it. Come with me, murderess. Come with me.
Imagine the casting for this. Can you scream, love? Max Bygraves, you did to all the little babies. Americans have no idea what I'm talking about. Radio. Shove. Another skeleton. Right, so we're going to reveal now. Here we go, the reveal's coming after this. Or pan. Right, here he comes. There's Vincent with his... Did she see the strings? Obviously not. He's the most amazing puppeteer. He should have worked for Jerry Anderson and Thunderbird, shouldn't he? So we're guessing Dr. Trent Skellington is still in the acid somewhere, along with his wife.
Good night, Doctor. Good night, Annabelle. The crime you two planned was indeed perfect. Only the victim is alive and the murderers are not. It's a pity you didn't know when you started your game of murder.
Murder.
That I was playing too.
There must be some way to get in here.
Oh, it's right along here, somewhere.
Lance! I've shot Mr. Loren. He's down in the wine cellar.
Alive?
I don't think so. It's him. He's alive.
Discarded his puppeteering equipment to put his jacket on.
You didn't shoot anyone, my dear. I loaded your gun with blanks. I can tell you all now. Trent and my wife were planning to kill me. They failed. Trent tried to throw me in the vat. My wife stumbled and fell. I'm ready for justice to decide if I'm innocent or guilty.
And that's that. But who hit Lance? He's going to go about his ghosts again now. 2 more ghosts.
Now there are 9. There'll be more, many more.
Well, there'll be 4 more.
They're
For
coming
his,
for me
I don't know if
now.
it was next film, 13 ghosts.
And then they'll come for you.
We've never had any ghosts in this film. There you go. Fiend. I love that film. I like this film better than the 1999 remake, even though that one's got more gore and swearing in it. But I do love this film. But I still don't understand who hit Lance. Why did we not see any ghosts? How did she get outside to be floating about outside Nora's window? How did they get the rope to do that thing? I have no idea. It's baffling. It is. Where's my thingy? There we go. Just move you over there. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I'm going to look something up and I forgot what it was. What were we going to look up? Oh, his next film after this. So I'm talking about 13 Ghosts, wasn't I? When did he do 13 Ghosts? Can't remember. Where are we? Filmography. Oh no, he did The Tingler after this. Same year did The Tingler, and then he did 13 Ghosts in 1960. So maybe they got the extra ghosts from The Tingler to add up to 13. 13 Ghosts. I'm kidding. By the way, look up The Tingler. That's a good film as well. That might be on YouTube as well. I don't know. And 13 Ghosts as well. So there we go. That's the end of House on Haunted Hill in colour. I love it. But I still don't understand the who hit Lance down in the cellar. Maybe it was I forgot the name already. Bloody character names. Maybe it was Annabelle. You know, he's Vincent Price's wife, Frederick Lauren's wife. Maybe, I don't know. But maybe it was the ghosts. But the only fellow that thought there were ghosts in the house apparently was Watson Pritchard, wasn't it? But you know, even at the end, they were saying there's going to be more ghosts, but we never saw any. Maybe it was a ghost-free night. Maybe they should get Ghost Adventures in. Or Amy's Crypt to investigate the house on Haunted Hill. Is it still there? Yes, it is. Because it was sold, wasn't it, in 2019 for $18 million. I wonder if they do ghost tours there. If it is actually haunted. The real Ennis house. Anyway, right, so there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. As I said, this is usually a Patreon exclusive, but I've just found out that allegedly it's what they call it now? What's the phrase? Oh God, I've looked it up. I've seen it somewhere. Where is it? Public domain. That's what I'm trying to think of. It's public domain now. It says here anyway in Wikipedia. So I'm going to risk putting it up on YouTube as well. So. And we'll see what happens. If I get a copyright claim, I'll take it back down. And we'll just stick with the Patreon exclusive for now. So, right, we'll leave it there. So, hope you enjoyed that. I did. I love that film. So, thanks for watching. And wherever you are, look after each other. Don't have nightmares. And until next time, I'll say the...